It's Friday. I'm Carolyn with Swan City Yarns. I'm glad y'all are here. Thank you for joining me. How is everyone today? I have lots to show y'all, lots to jabber about. So let's get this party started, shall we? First of all, we got to see who all's here. So let's see. Anne, hi, Anne, and Laura, hello, hello. Oh, it's lovely in California, is it? It's another scorcher here. Oh, yeah. For you too, Laura, huh? Yeah. 75. Oh my goodness. Oh, I tell you what. So let's see. Yeah, we're talking about yucky weather. Oy vey. Hey, Jana, glad you're here. I love it. And Katrin is here. Carol, Deborah Sue, glad to have you. And let's see, Carol. Did I already mention Carol, or do we have two Carols on here today? We might. We got a bunch of Carols, you know. And Sue is on here. Hey, Valera, hot in Atlanta. Yeah, I bet. Joe Carroll is here. And Defending Barley, I see. I love it. And Cindy Nicholas. Let's see, hot and humid, huh? In West Virginia. Yeah, I think it's kind of hot and humid almost everywhere except California. And I don't know about everybody else, but we've been having rain or threats of rain almost every single day. So lots of that going on too. But it is our rainy season. So you have that. But I think we actually are having extra from what I understand. I don't pay too much attention unless there's a hurricane coming. And then suddenly I'm I'm watching it. But otherwise, it's hot. It's hot. That's all there is to say. It's hot. So, anyway, I'm glad y'all are here. So, I don't have a book to talk about this week. I kind of took a break from Inspector Gamache this week. I've been I don't know if I think I've told y'all this. I'm definitely a happily ever after girl. So I love like short romance novels without a lot of angst. I don't have to do a lot of emotional thinking and processing. And with fighting a head cold last weekend and the early part of the week, that was my jam for this week. So I just had my Kindle out and I didn't get near as much knitting done as I wanted, but I will show you what I have because I'm very excited about it and my upcoming plans. So I will show you that. But I do want to show you, I think last week I told you all that I sent out the monthly mini color clubs. So I know there's at least one person who wouldn't have gotten theirs yet because I just mailed hers by a special request. But I'm going to go ahead and show what the monthly mini color club was. So here it is. Dun, dun, dun. It's red. I know y'all are probably like, red. Carolyn, come on. But look at this. This is my favorite part. This is the stitch marker. I mean, even Morgan was like, ooh, what is that? Look at that. I love a 3D stitch marker like this. Even if it gets in my way as I make my way around to the beginning of the sock, like I just don't even care. It's red, it's beautiful, it's a star. So yeah, Anne really knocked it out of the park on that one for us. So that was the stitch marker that you got in your monthly mini color club. And then I named it Fun in the Sun. So it's a good red. So this one is mine. Goes in my stash with all my others that I'm saving up to make a colorful blanket out of that I will do one of these days. Hey, Deb, I know it's hot. Yes, yay for AC. And oh, it's going to be hot. Yeah, that's true. It's still morning in California. All right, I'll stop giving you a hard time, man. And then Carrie is here, the Yarny Elephant. Hello, glad to have you. Oh yeah. So Deb, you got some Hallmark Holiday and Duke of Hastings when you were at She Sells Yarn. Nice. I like it. Yes, Jana, very good. Thank you. If you have not already hit the thumbs up, and I keep forgetting to tell y'all, but if you have not yet subscribed, I would love for you to do so. And if you hit the bell for notifications, once you've subscribed, then that makes sure that you get notified if I upload any extra goodies, which I do from time to time. So how's Tour de Fleece going for those of you that are doing it? Deb, I'm sure you're spinning every day. I did get some spinning done this week, nothing to show because, I'm still at the point where it's all about, or so I'm told, consistent drafting and treadling, and I still struggle with that. That's how new I still am on my wheel. I didn't do any drop spindling, but yeah, I did get some done on my wheel, so that was nice. Yeah. All right, where are we at? I think. Oh, hey, Diane, I'm glad you're here. Oh, about 75 today. See, no humidity. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe we should move to Canada. Let's all move to Canada and have cooler weather. Oh, Deb says lots of spindles and two wheels going here. Okay, very nice. Yeah, I know how you like um, your spindle spinning, but you have your wheels too. So, which I tend to forget because I see you with your spindles when I see you because wheels aren't quite as portable. I get that. All right, so let's move on because I've got lots of new stuff to talk about, and I don't have as much chit chat as I normally do. Normally, I go down, the rabbit holes, but I won't do that. I won't bore you with the details of my week. There was nothing overly exciting happening. I just wasn't feeling well, and it was one of those weeks where I had a hard time getting in the groove. Morgan wasn't here, so I was alone in the dye studio, meaning I had to dye and rinse, which kind of threw me off, and I didn't get quite as much done because of that also. Yeah, so there's always stuff going on, but I do have lots of projects to show y'all that I was so excited to see in the Swan City Stitchers group, and we'll have to see if I can get them organized here. I told you all last week, they have this new layout to my software that I use, and it doesn't let me organize the whip picks like it used to. I'm guessing they'll update that because surely people want to have that sort of thing where they can move it around. And right now, my only option is to move to the top. So of the list, and I don't want everything at the top of the list. So anyway, it is what it is. But so we'll see in what order your projects show up. So first of all, this was the picture of Anne's awesome elf socks, as she called them, that I had meant to show last week and didn't get it up. She's using Red Letter Day, Leprechaun, and Swan White. And of course, because I did not get them shown last week, she managed to finish them this week, which is awesome. And I love it. The sister socks. I love that whole opposites from one sock to the other. That's very cool. That is right up my alley. I love that so much. And then I also snagged this, even though this is not a fresh FO. Laura was kind enough to post her little Lulu sweater that she knit out of Oh Christmas Tree. How awesome is that? And I don't know, I suspect, Laura, did you manage your skeins here, like alternate skeins? I want to say no. I think Laura is not someone who does that. I think she lets the speckles fall where they will, which is very cool and beautiful in this particular case. So she did good. And then let's see, what else do we have? I have no idea what's next. Oh, okay. So this came off of Instagram. This is Penny, and Penny knit the Summer Nights sweater, and she knit it out of Swan Song. I want to say, I don't remember what base that is, but she did a really good job. It's beautiful. The fit is awesome. I love it. So I wanted to show that. There was another one from Instagram as well, but let's see. Is it possible? No, it's not that one. Oh, I wonder if that one nope, here it is. Right here it is. Look at that. So, and I don't know her name. Her Instagram handle is Goose on the Loose. I do know that she used the Spring Pastels mini set to knit these socks. And I think that might be the sprinkles is the kind of the main colorway that's running through there. And she said that she used a Summer Lee knits pattern that she modified. So she didn't actually name the pattern. I just know that it's a Summer Lee knits pattern, but it looks gorgeous. I love the way that she mixed up the colors and did the different stripes on the different socks. Obviously, I love that. And then Lonnie posted this picture. This is the Shine Bright shawl she's making great progress on with the Good and Plenty colorway. There is, I don't know if you can see it in there, there's a beautiful lace work. And she mentioned in the post that it would look good with, obviously, with a solid or a tonal solid or even something lightly speckled as well. The lace patterns would really shine there, but it looks great in the Good and Plenty colorway as well. So it's beautiful. All right, then let's see. I want to show. So Linda Frank posted these. These are part of her Christmas in July, the Fiber Challenge, which I say absolutely works. The main colorway there is Mild Mannered, and then she used Gemini for her cuff and toes. And the pattern is called Rhinebeck Roomies, which I love. And then this one, she also posted, she started her Interstellar Shorties, and she's using Disco with Pomp and Circumstance. Gorgeous. That's a great combination there. I like it. If you want something that's good contrast, but not, like in your face screaming neon. I don't know, disco's pretty bright, but anyway, that's just a good pair of socks right there. And then, not to be outdone, Tish also started her Interstellar Shorties, and she's using, that is, I wrote it down, Sweet Cherry Pie, and then Burnt Butter is the contrast color there. So, all right, did I get them all? I think I did. Look at that. Would you look at that? All right. Okay, so Laura, I don't think I did that this time. Yeah, I didn't think that you did. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Hey, Star, glad to have you on here. And Tish, did I say hi, Tish? Yeah, Deb is creating her own AC by spindling and wheeling. I know, I tell you. Hey, Cindy B, good afternoon. Glad to see you on here. All right, so let me show you. Like I said, I didn't get a lot of reading done, but what I did do, I'm very, very happy with. In fact, I really thought I would have an FO today. I mean, I should have. By all rights, I should have had an FO today, but I'm going to tell you, last Sunday, for some reason, I was feeling better on Saturday. And thought I was, I'm almost over this. Sunday, I had like a relapse and I just laid in bed all day. My nose was just running. I was a mess. So I just laid in bed all day, did no knitting. So it was like a whole lost day of knitting. So needless to say, during the rest of the week, I did work on my ranunculus. Now, you might say, Carolyn, what the heck? That is seriously cropped. You're right. It is seriously cropped, but I knew that and I tried it on, and I intentionally did that because I have 2 dresses that I want to wear it with, and I want the waist to show. And because this is a wider, a looser fitting top, it doesn't provide shaping. So I have to make my own, you have to make your own visual waistline there. So that's why I did it. So one thing that was interesting, so I told you all that I used and I didn't bring them. I used the Knit Pro Cubics, the square needles, to knit the body. And when I went to go down to do the hem, on my previous ranunculuses, I didn't go down a needle size because I knew it was going to be wide and I didn't care. And I didn't want to go down a needle size. Well, this one I did want to help create that shaping. I did want to go down a needle size. Well, when I went to go down, I realized as I was taking the needle off, I was like, oh, I never used a size 10. I used a 10.75. Which, why is there a 10.75 anyway? Why not just go from 10 to 11? It's not like, I understand in the lower, like, you've got even there, you've got 0, 1, 2. Is there a 2.5? I want to say that there is. I mean, for some reason, I guess I can see it more there. Like you would want more versatility in your smaller size needles. I don't know. Maybe I just don't knit enough with the heavier weight yarns. Anyway, I was like, oh, so I've been knitting with a 10.75 needle. Interesting. It didn't make a noticeable difference though in the way the shirt fits or anything like that. Um, so it's all good. But I went down to a size 9 for the hem. And then, so because the Cubics Knit Pro, I don't have shorty cables for that. So it was either magic loop the sleeves or switch over to my ChowGoo shorties. Well, I'm not magic looping anything if I can use my ChowGoo shorties. So I was like, I wonder if I have a 10.75 in my ChowGoo shorties. No, but I did have a 10.5. Again, why is there a 10.5? I don't know, but there is. So I used a 10.5 needle on the sleeve here, and that's what I'm using on this sleeve. And then I went down to a 9 for the ribbing again. So y'all, this is how fast this goes. I literally cast on this sleeve yesterday evening. Bo and I were sitting in front of the TV and I cast it on and finished. He ended up wanting to play his video game. And so I was like, oh, well, I'll just normally when we go into the bedroom, he'll watch TV and I'll just read. I don't knit anymore once I'm laying in bed. But I carried my knitting in there and I kept on knitting and I actually finished the sleeve last night. So I finished that and then cast on this, and I was knitting on it a little bit this morning, but I had to do shipping and other things got in the way. So I literally have, I think like, I don't know, 5 rows of knitting and then 8 rows of the ribbing to do. So it'll be done in no time. I hope to finish it today and then get it blocked. So yeah, so I love it. And I'm using, of course, and for those of you, if you haven't been around, I say it every week, but this is, and by the way, this is still my first cake of sprinkles on fluffy lace. I won't even need my second cake, which means I can come up with something else to do with my second cake of sprinkles. I have to make a hat or something. I don't know. And then Swan White, which is on Swanky Sock. And so I will obviously have some of that left. So yeah. So anyway, that's the main thing that I got to work on this week. So yeah, all sorts of fun there. But I want to finish that because I'm going to show y'all in a little bit. I've got 2 projects. I've got 2 tops that I want to cast on. Although the one I don't even know what I'm going to knit it in. So y'all might have to give me some help there. Then I also want to do Christmas socks. So I've got to get going on my Interstellar shorties too, because I got to do Christmas socks. Cannot let July go by without knitting some Christmas socks. Hey, Lonnie. So there is a 1.5. Gianna, how does sprinkles look with a light blue? That is a good question. So there is blue in there. But it's funny because the blue that's in there is a turquoise. However, some of it where it shows up does not actually look turquoise. It actually takes on a different shade of blue, interestingly enough. And I think it would look great with a pale blue. Now, if it's too dark, then even with the halo, because typically, because of the halo, fluffy lace will, override whatever yarn you're using. But because the speckles on fluffy lace are so light, the color, then I think if you were to use like a dark, then I think that the dark would probably override the beauty of these light speckles. But if you were to pair it, and you might not even be talking about fluffy lace, you might be talking about, sprinkles on something else. But yes, you can totally pair it with a light blue. Because like in there, I think it's where the blue and the purple, oh, sorry, it's showing my or focusing on my face. Some where the blue and the purple met sometimes, maybe. I don't know, or I don't know what it was, but some of the blue does not look turquoise. It has a distinctly different blue shade to it. It's very interesting. I like it. So anyway, I think it would look good. If you need help picking a light blue, just let me know. But you can totally do that. Yes, and it would look good with Bubblicious. And that's a beautiful pink that it would, oh, yeah, that would look so good. But Jana is not a pink person. So, that's blasphemy for Jana. Sorry, not Ann. Jana is not a pink person. Sorry. Ann is a very pink person. And maybe I said Jana. I don't know. Names are, they go in and out of my head. I don't know what's going on half the time. And, you're asking me to keep track of, oh, she's okay, Ann. You don't have to apologize to her. It's all in good fun, and she's a good sport. She may not like pinks, but she is a good sport about it. I like it. Do y'all know that I made a pink for Jana once called Stinky Pink? I haven't made Stinky Pink or dyed up Stinky Pink in a long time. And you might like Stinky Pink. Did you ever see it? That was a long time ago. But I bring it back from time to time. I'll do a Stinky Pink. So, okay, let's talk about what's in the shop, shall we? The big thing this week is I've been working on this for weeks, y'all, weeks. And that is this. It is a beautiful self-striping colorway. So let me talk to you about this. So this was actually first started from the colorway and the set for peppermint bark. Do y'all remember I did peppermint bark, which was, it had red speckles, pink, and brown. Those three on a swan white background. And then as a sock set, you got a mossy, and was it mocha was the other? Something like that were the minis. So you had red, pink, brown, and green. And I thought, that would look really good as a self-striping. So this colorway came from that. So you've got those 4 colors. Let me show you. This is how it knits up. It's only available on Trusty Sock. So you see you've got your red, your pink, your brown, and your green there. And it reminded me a lot of the cordial cherries that you can get. Do y'all like those? Do you love or hate them? I find that most people that I talk to either love or hate the chocolate covered cherries. I used to love them every year, and I introduced them to my children, and I think they, well, they haven't been disinherited. So as I recall, they liked them. Yeah, because I still get them for them. I can't have them, but they like them. But I don't think Bo cares for them, which, he can't be perfect. So he's got to have some faults. But anyway, so I ended up coming up with the help, with some help from ChatGPT, and named it Cordially Yours, Santa, as a nod to cordial cherries. And then in the picture in the newsletter, I did not even think about the fact the software that I use to clean up the pictures and then add a background to it. Bo was like, "Are those cherries in there?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're supposed to be chocolate covered cherries." And he goes, "Well, they make the yarn look really small." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even notice that." The software made the cherries like 5 times as big as they should have been. Anyway, I was just all impressed that it came up with some good looking cherries. Because that's what I asked for. I want some cherries on a plate. Anyway, my photo editing app, they keep updating it, and I don't always like it. I want nice, clean pictures with a nice background. You know what I mean? We don't have to be all fancy. But anyway, I kind of liked that picture until Bo pointed out that the cherries are abnormally large. Whatever. So this is it. This is how it knits up. What's in the shop is what's in the shop. Okay. Because it has taken, this is a labor of love for sure. And yeah, so I hope y'all like it. Enjoy it. That's the big thing. It's only available on Trusty Sock at this point. I know, Joe Carroll. See? Yes, love those cherries. Oh, but not Laura. Interesting. Okay. That's all right. What did you not need me for? No, I'm sorry, Valera. So because of the way, unlike people who dye self-striping, um, and that's their sole focus, I don't have all the machinery. And so I don't make my own skeins. I get long skeins that have already been made. And as far as I can tell, I've only ever seen them in the Trusty Sock base. So this will only be available on Trusty Sock at this time. If that changes, then who knows? I'm sure I'll dye up some Trusty DK. But in the meantime, hey, Pam, I'm glad you're here. So, Anne, you have seen Stinky Pink. Okay, very good. And then, Jana, I wondered why you were asking about that. Okay, because I was like, because Sprinkles has pink in it. But yeah, so gift knitting, awesome. I love it. Very good. Um, yeah, I know, Jana. I'll have to make some self-striping that doesn't have pink at some point. I'm sure I will at some point. I don't know if I told y'all, I know I told the Dying to Knit group, I did get a warping mill that it helps the process a little bit to go from the large skein into a normal size skein. Because obviously I can't send you all the long skein. You'd be like, what am I supposed to do with this? Well, there you go. I could just wrap it up and tell y'all, okay, here you go, have fun. I'm not going to do that. Oh, I did. So I wanted to show you some minis because I did not put this as a mini, as a sock set. So if you're looking for some coordinating colors, Red Letter Day, I think, is the red that best fits it. Jingle Guts looked pretty good, I thought. And then I also like Jun Ho, actually. I really like Jun Ho with it. And Candy Shards is beautiful with it. That was the pink that went into the peppermint bark sock set. And then also Cafe Latte is a nice, that goes with that brown that's in there. It's just a tiny bit lighter, but I actually think I would want a little bit of a contrast, not a high contrast, but maybe a little bit. And you can even do Swan White with it as well. Those are all good options if you're looking for something. There's also some one-of-a-kinds in the shop. I've got a handful of different projects I've got going on for yarn shops and a Christmas color, one last Christmas colorway that I want to do for Christmas in July. And so that has led to for the next couple of weeks, you'll probably see a handful of one-of-a-kinds popping up and here and there for various projects. And I'm looking for a certain shade and of dye concentrate or something like that. So the first one this is Frosted Blush. This actually was based on a picture. This was just my first go at it. That it was a color palette. The picture is in the listing and also in the newsletter. You can see what I was looking at and going for. And I don't know. I mean, I like it. I suspect this is one of those skeins that for me looks okay in the skein. And then when you knit it up, it's like, ooh, hubba hubba. But I haven't had time to knit it up. So there's just a couple available on Trusty Sock and Trusty DK on that one. And then this one is for you neon lovers. This is Rudolph's Rave. I was looking for some colors for a fun Christmas colorway. We'll see if it happens. I don't know. Anyway, so that's only on Trusty Sock. And then there are some minis. This is called the Gilded Grape. It's actually really pretty. I suspect this is going to be gorgeous knit up. It's only now available on Trusty DK minis because the Trusty Sock minis have sold out. So there's still some on DK in that. And then these are not one-of-a-kinds. However, I did dye up. Hang on a second. Deb, love the yarn, the candies not so much. Well, I'd rather you like the yarn better anyway, honestly. Yes, Bo did get lucky. I'm not sure what y'all are talking about, but he definitely hit the jackpot. Oh, I know. I didn't run the pick by you first. Actually, if you think about it, I did because I always send you a test newsletter. Bo always gets a test newsletter. And because you know how when you're the one, I read through the newsletter. Well, it depends. It all depends. On a good week, I run through the newsletter multiple times, reading it for errors and things like that, and checking to make sure the links work and go to the right place. If it's a bad week or a hurried week, then I might go through it one time. I remember at the very beginning, it was like Thursday night, and I was putting together a newsletter. So, but now I can send a test. So I always send Bo a test, and he looks through it. So he had a chance. And technically, he did say something. I could have changed the picture, but it was late, and then I was like, I must be missing half of y'all's conversation because I don't know. Valera, that's okay. I just ordered the trusty sock. Aw, thanks, Valera. By the way, Valera, good news. I think I have nailed everything down on our little thing. Actually, I can tell y'all, I've already talked about it in the past. I'm coming up with a colorway for FSU because my stepdaughter went to FSU. Valera, did you go to FSU, Valera? Is that why you love FSU? Anyway, Valera has been wanting an FSU colorway and garnet and gold. And then also it needs to have some black in there, of course. Well, I've been struggling to find the garnet and the gold. And I nailed the garnet down. The gold was trickier even still because it's hard to get a gold that's not too yellow and it's not too brown. You know, to get a true gold is very tricky. But and then a lot of the colors that make up the perfect shade will break. So you dye it, and where in the concentrate it looks like it's the perfect gold, but then you dye it on the yarn, and because of the chemistry and everything that's going on, some of the colors will shift and you'll get this weird blue or purple. It's like, what is this? That does not belong on a garnet and gold colorway. Anyway, I finally nailed down the garnet, the gold. So now I just have to decide how I want to dye up the skein so that when it gets knit into a sock, because I'm sure that's why Valera wants it, right? Valera, did you say? I'm sure it's socks for you, and then I want to knit a pair of socks for my daughter Kayla. And so anyway, it has been. In fact, just so y'all know, that's where the gilded grape came from. And I know it looks nothing like garnet and gold. I knew the garnet that was way too purpley, and but I was testing the gold there, which I like, but again, it has some breakage where it leans just a tiny bit orange, and I was like, that's not good enough. So anyway, that's what all that's about. But I think I have nailed it. Yes, Sue, you did snag yours with Red Letter Day. I already got that bad boy shipped out. Hey, did I say hi, Pam? Hello, I'm glad you're here. And you worked there, Valera? Okay. Yeah, Bo's dad was an FSU grad. Oh, Matthew graduated from FSU, so we might have some more FSU fans in here. All right. So anyway, be looking for that colorway if you're interested. In the upcoming weeks, it should be pretty shortly now. Although I do have a couple of wholesale projects that I'm working on as well, special projects. So, all right, where was I going? These are not one of a kinds, but they are new in that I did not have under the mistletoe on any of the alpaca bases. I can't believe I didn't have on any of them. So I knew last week, I was like, I definitely want under the mistletoe on a fluffy DK because I'm going to knit something out of that. I have to. So I went ahead and dyed some up on fluffy lace as well. I will say one of the things that's interesting about this, I don't know how well you can see it. So this particular colorway, I have a very low amount of liquid in the pots because I don't want the color to travel too much, but you got to have enough liquid. You can't have your yarn burning. So it's kind of a tricky thing. And this being the first time that I did the alpaca bases with all of their extra halo, it was a little trickier for me to see, and especially not on, it didn't do it on the fluffy DK, but on the fluffy lace in this particular batch, you can see there's just a tiny bit where the red kind of ran into or ran off too much water in the pan, and there's some pink in there. So if you like that, then that's a cool little thing in there. So on the fluffy lace, but the red and the green are just love it. So what am I going to knit with the fluffy DK? Well, let me tell you. So first it was Anne who posted a picture a while ago of her V-neck Stockholm slipover. Y'all remember I did a round neck Stockholm slipover. It was out of Neon Moon and Sparklers Bright Yellow. Yeah. So when Anne posted hers, I was like, I think I need a V-neck. It looks a little bit different. And yeah. Well, just this past week, Jenny Danker commented and said, maybe this is what you make with the under the mistletoe. And I was like, oh, that's it. So with this one, Fluffy DK, I will only use one strand of this, but the gauge is exactly the same between the two patterns. I noticed that the bust measurements were just like a tiny bit off, not enough to be a noticeable difference though. So I went back and looked at what I did with my O neck. And see, this is why you keep good notes on Ravelry or somewhere, because I was able to go back and look. I made a size small and I used size 5 needles. Now she actually calls for a size 7. But if y'all remember, we were talking about my gauge when I'm gauge swatching is obviously looser, and I ended up going down to a size 5 on that. And the slipover fits me just fine, and I wear it, but I would like a little more ease. And definitely with this one, I want some more ease in it. So I've decided, I don't think I'm even going to gauge swatch. That might bite me in the butt. Oh, I'll gauge swatch just in the project. I just have a giant gauge swatch. So my bust is currently at 37, and she recommends, I think, yes, 2 inches of positive ease, but I'm going to go up to a size 6 needle. And so in that case, I think I can still do a size small. So we'll see. And I am going to, this is a colorway that, because of the way that I dye this yarn, it's in its round circumference. And then how do I do this? So like if this is the skein laying out, I lay down rows in this manner. So there's red, green, red, green. So that with changing, like knitting, I think you knit back and forth on this flat, and then you go in the round, there could be some serious color pooling and shifting and all that. And so I have a choice. I can either just use one strand, one skein at a time, and let the colors fall where they may, or I can manage my yarns and alternate skeins. And I think that's what I'm going to do, because for this particular project, I think that I would like it better if the color is evenly distributed. So I'm going to manage my skeins that way. We'll see what happens. So I'll figure out how much yardage I need. And then based on that, I'll decide, if it's just like, well, let's see. Let's look real quick. Materials. I got to figure out the yardage, because she goes by grams and then tells you how many meters. Oh, she does tell you how many yards are in each gram, but I'm going to have to figure that out. But it might only be like 2 skeins. So if that's the case, I'll probably just alternate, strands between the two skeins. Yeah, 2 or 3. So that's that. That's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm anxious to cast on next. But the other thing that I want to do, hello, Puro Crochet. I know, Pam, I'm so excited. It's gonna be good. The other top that I'm eager to cast on, and I saw it on the Fruitful Hands podcast. I think it's Diane is knitting this one. It's Pier 39 by Isabel Kramer. Thank you very much. And here's what I love about this top. I love the way that it fits. And I went and looked at the finished projects and multiple body types, and it looks good on everybody. Like, I don't know. It just is that the magic of the pattern? I don't know. But it's such a great pattern. I love the shoulders. And apparently, from what somebody said in their notes, apparently she does just a little bit of short row shaping on the sleeves there, which is why they look so cool. And I might go a tiny bit longer on my sleeves just because, I'm always funny about my upper arms. But I do love that shirt. So I got to be thinking about what colors I want to use, though. I might use some fall colors. I do have a fall palette that I've been running around in my head. So by the time I get my Christmas socks done and the V-neck slip over, it might be time for some fall colors. So who knows? But if you have something that you think, ooh, oh, and you just bought it, you'll probably have it knitted up by next week. But that's awesome. See, great minds think alike. Yeah. Yep, exactly, Pam. You do knit flat and in the round. See? Yeah. So yeah, I think color management and alternating the skeins will definitely be it. Yeah, I agree, Jana. So far I have loved all of Isabel Kramer's patterns. Um she just does an amazing job. And they're easy to follow. Like she has good, clear instructions. You don't wonder. I never have issues with her patterns. Yeah, she's awesome that way. So, yeah, definitely a project that is on my list. Okay, what else? Oh, before I forget, Perfectamundo and Happy and Free, the pre-order is up still, but it'll only be up like through the weekend because that's getting dyed up first thing next week and then getting shipped out. So, all right. And then tomorrow, let's talk about tomorrow. I will be and Bo will be at Knit and Stitch Boutique in Cocoa. So that means that the online shop will be closed from pretty early in the morning until the evening. How late in the evening? I don't know. It depends on whether my website glitches again, like it did the last time. Oh, I got to tell you, there's nothing worse than being tired and on your way home and trying to get your website back up and it glitches. It was brutal 2 weeks ago. I didn't even tell you all about that. But anyway, I think I figured out Bo was busy cooking dinner. So there is that. Or I don't know what he was doing something. We were both exhausted and we got home and I'm looking at the website trying to figure out what's going on. And unfortunately, Shopify, it's not just this thing where you go, you know how everything is nowadays. Everything is AI. It's so heavily AI. So the chat, it's trying to pinpoint and tell me what's wrong and why my website is doing what it's doing. And finally I went in and I clicked a button of some sort and Bo's looking at the website and he goes, oh, it's working. It's up. So praise the Lord. It was not a fun experience. But anyway, so, Lord willing, the website will be up tomorrow night again. And then a week from, oh, and by the way, I think I told you all the sock blank dye experience is tomorrow as well. I'm so excited about that. I've got everything stacked up out by the door, ready to go for that tomorrow. It's going to be good times. And yes, so that's smart. And then a week from tomorrow, I will be at She Sells Yarn in Ormond Beach. And there is still some openings if you're wanting to learn about working with hand-dyed yarns and what to do with that crazy skein that, something like this even, that you only bought one of. So there's room in that class. And then I think there's still one opening in the, what class is that? The botanical scarf dyeing class. Yeah. Morgan saw some of the new dyes that I had. She was like, "Oh, what's this?" And I was like, hold your horses. That's for my class. So, Karen, hey, Karen, Nano, I don't know if I've seen that one. Wonder if I have enough DK. Well, I can help you with that, obviously. Let's go look real quick. Nano, because y'all don't have anything better to do than sit around with me. Listen, one thing though, before I go, did you see my shirt? This is one of the shirts that we have on the website. If you're interested, it says, I knit and I read and I knit. That's what I do. And there's a couple others on there. I think one says I drink coffee and I knit, something like that. Anyway, and now on the back, you have to have my logo. So there you go. It's under the merch, by the way, if you're interested in that. Oh, I did see that. That's her cardigan. Yes, I did see that actually. It looks so good on her, it just does. Do y'all want to see it real quick? Here, let me show you. Let's see. Yeah, I did see. I totally forgot about it. I saw it on Instagram. She just released that. And it looks good. I'm a little intimidated by the pockets, honestly, but I'm sure that with her pattern writing, it'll be good. So who knows? Maybe that'll be my Nani Swimo sweater. Ooh, with velveteen or jingle guts. But then I have to have an accent color. Anyway, I'll be pondering on that. Okay. And then Carolyn, you can use my shirt design. Okay. That's yes, I was just showing that to, I wore that the other day and I was showing it to the Dying to Knit people. It says, I read it to him. What does it say? It says, sorry, can't, knitting, bye. It's a good one. We might have to do that. So Lonnie, Pomp and Circumstance and Swan White help a lot to pair. That's true. That is very true. And having a colorway to break it up. Okay, Hiss and Vinegar is another new one that's out today. Casapinka has the greatest patterns. And oops, I probably should have. Oh, there, right there it is. Hiss and Vinegar. Is it a mystery? Because I'm not seeing the actual pattern. Oh, and it has to do with a cruise? Well. All right. Very good. I'll keep my eye on that one too then, because I'm not seeing the actual pattern yet. All right. Hey, it's the weekend. I hope y'all have big plans. Staying cool. I assume we're going to go get groceries because it's Friday. I actually don't mind getting groceries. I actually enjoy it, but I don't always like coming home late on a Friday and having to put away groceries. That's kind of blah. Oh, it is a mystery. Okay, very good. It's a mystery knit along. She always has such great patterns for her mystery knit alongs, though, so we know it'll be good. No, I love that, Deb. That's awesome. All right, so I guess this is where I leave you, y'all. Okay. Lonnie's using 3 dyed yarn or yarns that I dyed. Interesting. Well, I'm sure we'll see pictures. I cannot wait to see what they are for sure. All right. Hey, I hope y'all have a good weekend. Try to take care of yourselves. And yeah, if you need me, you know how to reach me, Carolyn at Swan City Yarns. And I hope y'all have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. I always have a good time. It's a highlight of my week to see y'all. So thank you so much. All right. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Bye.